Welcome everybody to the Dobsonian Power Live! Bam! It's awesome. I love this topic today. I have plenty of stuff to share with you and comment. It's crazy. If you were last week here with us watching, or if you watched the replay of that reaction I made about the weird pictures, real pictures from NASA on the moon from the podcast of Ross Coulthard and that physicist, that was crazy. You will love today because this is the second part of it. Bam! And I can tell you, it's crazy stuff. And strong as well. It's not like, okay, my friend told me that there was something. No. Oh, I have a smartphone here, but we can see very well. No. Real footage from NASA. Real testimony from astronauts. Famous ones as well. And a clear evidence of what we all know here. The Quackademia at its best. This is eye-opening. This is crazy. This will change if you don't know already. Many of you know. But this will change the way you view things from shenanigans. And now that we are going to the moon with Artemis 2, at least to surround it, it has all the significance, it has all the importance, and I really love this topic. I'm glad he did it again. I was hoping for a second part. We will watch it here with you and comment. And make the polls as well. So you and me could hopefully get closer to the truth. Bam! Hype, thank you. Hope you're having a great week. I was all day with shenanigan life. Busy life with the companies and weird... the companies work... well, you know, I lost loads of time inside a company. It is what it is. When the company is not organized... and me there, like this, waiting, very patiently. Man, I'm getting better. I'm more patient today. I was there with a smile. All right. Everything is all right. Let's do straight away. Bring the polls! I will. But first we will start. I will do like this. The plan is to dedicate this live stream to this. And just a bit, I want to, it's very important, some news that just were released that I want to draw the attention towards. I may start by that and then we get fully deep into that amazing second part interview in their podcast. I will strongly recommend you, if we can't see it all today, I will continue tomorrow. So meanwhile, you can watch it if you have the time, quietly in your bed or something with headphones. It's the best experience. So let me start by sharing with you this important news. This important, very important news, and positive as well, from this excellent astrophysicist, Beatriz Villarroel. So what happens here? For the ones that don't know, I put you in context. Beatriz Villarroel has been making an awesome work for years during all this time doing this work. Thank you, Gia Astro, for being member for 34 months, man. You deserve a statue. You deserve a statue. Super Explorer, even more. A bigger statue. Thank you so much, man.
You are a super explorer.
Dear Astro, a man from telescopes, he has a channel, a YouTube channel of telescopes for the ones that like that kind of stuff. Beatrice was analyzing the plaques. So we had in the 50s and before telescopes pointing towards the sky, and they recorded everything in plaques. And Beatrice was analyzing pre-50s plates, and some of them on the 50s, but before the first launch into space of Sputnik 1 from Soviet Union. So there were nothing from humans in space. And she was analyzing tens of thousands of plaques of images from those telescopes back that time. Because we record everything and then we can analyze in the future, as I do here, actually. And she discovered loads of transients, objects that were unidentified, and it was impossible to be satellites. No Starlink back that time. Nothing in space. In 57 we had the first launch, so nothing at all in space. And she found out, after analyzing manually, this is important, manually, tens of thousands and thousands of plaques, she discovered a pattern which had the transients there, but there were more transients, more unidentified objects during nuclear activity. There were peaks of those transients, and also there were much less transients when the telescopes were pointing to the shadow of the Earth. I mean, we have the Earth and the sun is shining over the Earth. So everything that is around the Earth, due to the solar light, it will reflect. That's why we can see things in the telescopes. But if they are alien, they won't be visible in the shadow of the Earth, behind the Earth, because the sun, we are blocking the sunlight. So we cast a shadow to the back, and there are no transients there, or almost none. If there were artifacts, there will be in all the plaques, not only the ones that are in the sunlight. You get it? There was a group, or I believe it's a group, I don't know who they are. They are shenanigans that tried to make a paper debunking the work of Beatrice Villarroel. So Beatrice was all these years working on something that is very sure about what she has, and her team. It's very strong. In my opinion, one of the best evidence of extraterrestrial activity around the Earth. But they wanted to debunk, because shenanigans were saying immediately, you know how they work? It's an artifact. It's dust from the plagues. It's this, it's that, everything but alien. Well, these guys, I'm sure they didn't take as long as Villarroel doing this job, but they took a small sample, less work, much less, a very small sample, and they said, okay, this is nothing. And now Villarroel today, this is the news, today, she posted on X a new paper debunking the debunkers, which was pretty easy. And she said here, we have posted a response to Archive, which is that shenanigan platform that usually denies everything that has to be with aliens, like they did with Aviloeb, saying that is not interesting. to shenanigans, we have posted a response there. The analysis relies on heterogeneous dataset reduced by 95%. What she's saying here is that they reduced the sample to 99, more than 95%. So only 5% of her work was used, which is pretty small. The more data you have from something, the better. It's like on 3i Atlas. SETI said, okay, we listen with radio telescope. Only one day, a few moments. But if you did it since July, I'm sure the sample will be much wider and we will have good information about confirming. We will have the confirmation from shenanigans from SETI that 3i Atlas is really a
freaking spaceship.
Because it is. Because it is. They are hiding it. 3i Atlas is a freaking alien spaceship. It doesn't mean that it is like Starship or like, I don't know, other things that we have in our planet. They have different technology. They use natural stuff as well. But it's something alien. So they did the same. They used a small sample just to debunk. Maybe to get a medal or something from someone on the Quackademia. And not only that, they didn't consider the ones at the far side on the shadow of the Earth. And she said here, 95% reduced to that sample. So a small sample lacking essential time and date information. Of course, this is common sense. And originally constructed for a different scientific purpose. The search for a true vanishing star. It was made this work to another purpose. Our reply, she said, addresses the resulting loss of statistical power and the methodological consequences. The transients remain on the plate. Bam! Yes, they are. Yes, they remain. Yes, they remain. And Beatrice has all my support as well on this matter because I truly believe it's super, super important. Maybe Beatrice, I hope so. I hope that she is recognized decently by this Quackademia shenanigans in my time, in mine and her lifetime, and yours as well. But if not, it's what I said to Aviloeb. Don't worry, future will remind you. Thank you so much, Bisser Blue, for sending 10 new members to the crew. You are always bringing members to the crew. Thank you so much. Welcome everyone to the Serenity.
You are an explorer.
So this is crazy. I wanted to start with this. Now we will go to the moon. This is crazy because I hope she will be decently recognized, her work, because it's the first work over that with dedication, with perseverance, with all the strength she has. She put her life into this, so she deserves that she will be recognized. If not now, future generations will do, as history taught us. Many people from the past was only recognized after they were gone from here. Which is sad, but it's the truth. So, I hope she can be recognized before that happened. And I remind you that even Einstein, did you know this? Many people don't know this. Did you know this? Look, there was a book after Einstein with his relativity theory was contested. There was a book So you can see how shenanigans worked back that time. Look. There was a book called That Shenanigans released that was called 100 Authors Against Einstein in 1931. So did you know that Einstein had that issue as well? And it was Einstein. Nobody contest Einstein. Nobody put Einstein into doubt, but they should. But you know, Einstein is like right after the theory, 100 scientists made a book criticizing Einstein, trying to debunk him. 100 authors against Einstein. You have that book available in your library store. So just to give you an example of how important discoveries are always messed up by shenanigans. That means common sense. Common sense. That means that shenanigans now are doing the same as shenanigans did in the past, which is shooting their own feet. An obstacle for the evolution of knowledge of human beings, of science as well. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Now let's go to the moon. Let's go to the moon. And there we go with the amazing work. Man, I hope he does more than this one about the moon, because this is crazy, man. This is unbelievable. Let me hydrate first. What? First poll of the day. Does Beatrice deserves recognition for her work, of course? There we go. Hashtag yes if you believe that Beatrice Villarroel deserves recognition for her work with transients, or if you think it's rubbish, the work, you can do it here, please. I won't attack you. I'm not a shenanigan. You are free to. You might believe in other works, and this one, oh, because of this or that, you don't believe. And nobody will tell you anything here, okay? I promise you. Well, at least me. Okay. 97.1, 2.9, the no. 97.1 believes that Beatrice Villarroel deserves. I will vote as well. My position is clear. Yes. I really love that work. Those stars that appear and disappear, those that look like stars, but they are transients because of the distance they are. In the future, we will know more about this, because I'm sure that in the future, with space exploration extending their tentacles, they will go to that distance in the upper atmosphere and beyond, so they can get footage from it. Now the question is, will they hide it from us as they are doing now? I don't have much faith on the shenanigans right now because they are hiding loads of stuff. And today it's another example of that. They are hiding loads of charlatans, exactly. Exactly, Max. Charlatans. Ancient gatekeepers and their shenanigans. Exactly. Shenanigans are here. They are always here, man. They love us. They like. Some of them like because they... Look, there are two types of shenanigans. There are the shenanigans that aren't really shenanigans. They just can't get rid of it because they are stuck in their bubble. And if they try to escape, you know what happens. To the lions! You know what happens. Burn it! Socially, but it is. You lose everything. But they are waiting for people to wake up and then they will pop up. Don't worry. And there are the pure shenanigans that are shenanigans from the morning until they go to bed. Shenanigan all the time. Even with the family. Don't dare to think that. Or how can you think that, you know? Shenanigan 100%. They truly believe they're gods. And the ones that come here to have the good ones, the good shenanigans, come here to have that taste of, okay, they don't know that I'm watching this and I'm having fun hitting them, or at least having fun with it. The other ones come here to, I don't know, to what? They don't have anything to do. And they come here like, this conspiracies. You know, people go to places that they don't like. I don't. I went today to a company that I don't like to go there, but I had to. It's business. I had to solve bureaucracy, you know, shenanigan stuff. Let's start. Volume.
Active or inactive, or maybe both, maybe from multiple visitations from different civilizations over billions of years. I think
this is when Coulthard immediately asked him if he believes in there are artificial structures in the moon.
I strongly suspect that there are artificial structures on the moon, either active or inactive, or maybe both, maybe from multiple visitations from different civilizations over billions of years.
Important. Over billions of years, maybe from different civilizations, important civilizations. You see? A good mindset. Open-minded.
I think that is a highly probable scenario, and I think that we have enough evidence of anomalies of various kinds on the moon and NASA imaging to support that sort of an inference. And I, would mention that Carl Sagan himself thought it was also very likely that there were.
Carl Sagan was thinking that, although then he changed a bit more towards the end of his journey, but he was very convicted that there were artificial structures there.
Artifacts left in the solar system, and that the moon was a likely place where they could be.
Why would NASA conceal it? This is what I don't understand. I mean,
Me neither, Ross.
As a journalist, obviously, we're always taught to assume a screw-up before a conspiracy. We actually use a more impolite word, but for the audience's delicacies, I'll use a more polite word like screw-up. Why would NASA conceal it?
I think there are a few main reasons. One is that NASA was founded as essentially an arm or an extension of the Department of Defense and the national security state when it was created by the space.
So he basically thinks that it has to be with the Department of Defense and, that kind of secrecy. Let me take off the poll. So does Beatrice deserves recognition? She won by far or 98% of people here in the chat, congratulations. You never let me down. Thank you for the participation on the first poll of the day. Tia, can you telescope zoom in on the moon pretty close? Can we possibly explore the freaking moon?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Yes, we will do. Yes, we will watch something that he will talk about here, that is on the thumbnail. We will zoom with my massive telescope there. Right now, the moon is after full moon, new moon. New moon was yesterday, so no moon now. New moon was yesterday, so now it's 2% crescent moon. It will be all the week with a thin, brightness. And then next week will start to get bigger. And the weather forecast is good, so we will have 3i Atlas. We will have A1 maps that we don't know yet what is it, because it was just discovered, and it will explode most likely near the sun or in the sun. And we will watch the moon in super detail as well. Bam! I won't let you down.
Space Act, the National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958. And that act makes it very clear that any discovery...
He's talking about that act on 58 from NASA that, if you don't know, immediately when NASA was created in 58, they made that act of basically saying that, okay, NASA is about science, but, very important, if there's something that we believe that is a matter of national security, it will be classified. So this thing that is recent about classifying 3i Atlas, it was already classified. And I believe they use this tricky and shady way of doing things, like the live stream, like spreading the news. It's a different style of doing things nowadays, but they classified. It was already classified. That's why we never had good information of the anomalies. That's why. Now I understand. Now it's all clear as water. Clear as water. They know it. They know it's
a freaking spaceship.
And they are hiding it from us.
Discoveries that NASA makes in space exploration that
Let's
have
go now
implications for
to
national security
here.
ought to be classified.
n.com/Ross. Let's get into what you have to show us today about the Apollo missions.
Very good. So I would like to begin by calling up the first video.
The first video is crazy. Guys, this is the second part. The first part, we watched it already here. You are missing my live streams. How can it be? How can it be? How can it be? Blood Moon, it's yes. We will watch it. Hold on.
That I would like to show regarding an anomaly seen on Apollo 11.
And Apollo 11 is the lunar landing mission.
July 19th, 1969. As Apollo 11 makes its final approach to the moon, mysterious lights appear, dazzling the astronauts.
Even the harshest critic discovered the fact this was real. They actually did see something.
NASA thinks it's moon debris.
It had to be something else. It really is a mystery.
Is there something there they don't want the public to know?
Just hours before NASA astronauts take man's first steps on the moon, astronomers in Germany report a strange light coming from the Aristarchus crater.
This is the crater that we will watch the next time in the moon with my powerful Excalibur. So stay tuned and subscribe for more. If you like this kind of content, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with videos and live streams.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. Go ahead.
Wow, I've never heard about this one, Max. What's the story with the strange light?
Well, the account is basically that German astronomers saw a very bright, flashing crater from Earth, from their telescopes on Earth. And then NASA asked the Apollo astronauts as they were entering lunar orbit to check this out, to look in the direction of this crater known as Aristarchus on the near side of the moon to see if they could see this luminous glow from the crater.
So, this is very important. It was from the Earth. It was German astronauts. They were pointing with their telescopes like I do here. They were pointing with their telescopes to the moon during the mission, the Apollo 11, and they saw something on the Aristarchus crater that was some lights there that we will try to see as well. And they warned NASA, and the astronauts were warned about those flashes or whatever light was being so bright there in that specific crater, in that specific location. And the astronauts received the information. Guess what they answer?
And so the astronauts took a look and they confirmed that indeed it was anomalously bright and glowing. It had a luminescent...
And glowing.
At Chris Green 1605 super chatted $20. Fly me to the moon BAMM.
Bam! Thank you. We will fly you to the moon, Chris Green. Thank you so much. He's in the house. We will, Chris Green. Hopefully you as well, because remember that the moon, although we have the difference of time zone here from Texas, that you are on Texas, you can do it during the day as well. So maybe we can do something with the moon with you. Stay tuned.
Aura. And that was completely surprising and unexpected to NASA scientists at the time, because the standard view of the moon is that it's a dead rock, essentially, with no
You see, shenanigans. It's a dead rock. It's just a rock. It walks like a rock. It's just a rock.
Geological activity. Certainly no intelligent activity on it, at least at the time, beyond what humans sent there. And a crater shouldn't be glowing brightly. And it's worth pointing out that the glow that they saw, that the astronauts saw, that the German scientists saw, was during a point when this part of the moon, where the crater was in shadow. So the sun was not shining on it. And yet it was...
This is very important. They stated, look, the crater is not receiving sunlight. Because you know how shenanigans are, man. If you see something in space, oh, that's a Starlink. Of course. In Beatrice Villarroel work, they couldn't say that because Starlink didn't exist back that time. And this happens the same. Look, the crater is shining. It's glowing, said by astronauts. It's glowing, but the sun is not shining there.
It's glowing bright.
So the crater's called, is it Aristarchus?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Did NASA ever provide any subsequent explanation for what that anomalous glow was?
There have been multiple theories of different kinds ever since this discovery. NASA's theories range from the emission of gases that are trapped somewhere underneath the crater to...
Gases? Okay, shenanigan. That's gases.
To lunar dust being electrically charged.
Lunar dust, electrically charged. Man, this reminds me so much. 3i Atlas.
By solar wind
by solar wind.
or sunlight, and then levitating above the surface and scattering the sunlight, to remnants of ancient volcanic materials trapped underneath that then get released when meteors strike the crater.
This is one of the Quackademia are telling about 3i Atlas. There was materials that were released, were there inside, and suddenly, for some reason, can't explain, of course, They were released later because you know that 3i Atlas changed a lot from before the sun and during and after the sun. A lot. No comet does that. Because there were in the nucleus, they don't even know the nucleus. They don't even explain the nucleus exactly. They don't have any, at least didn't release any picture of it to us. Something was there and suddenly for some reason pop.
From hundreds of millions of years ago. Those are the main sort of proposed explanations, but all of them fail to account for the observed phenomena either individually or...
Like 3i Atlas, all of them failed. It's a fail. It's a fail. All of them failed. All of them. Like 3i Atlas. Campfire, yes, but that was the astronauts talking. That I understand, man. What is that, a campfire or something? That glow, I showed that in last week here. I will not show again. You have the real footage of the moon live stream here with the comments. If you enjoy the best parts, the best of, and the comments you have here on the channel, you go to live. Then here you have, here's real NASA moon pictures. You see the glow? Man, this is freaking crazy, man. This freaking glow. Look at this one. Man, this was crazy. We don't have they are talking about that. They are talking about that glow. Look. Here. This is freaking weird, man. And they can't explain. This is one of them. This wasn't in the Apollo. This was a recent mission. It's a different one. So this is recurrent. But this is getting crazier as we dig into this.
Or even collectively. And in fact, I have some images to show of Aristarchus that I think help kind of illustrate why it's so anomalous.
Let's have a look at that.
From the Clementine mission.
The images.
So there we go.
So I see good. Professor Peter Schultz, former NASA planetary scientist.
Yes, and he's an former Apollo geologist. He's now based at Brown University. He's a highly respected lunar geologist, a mainstream guy, and he says something very...
So this is basically, I will summarize this part. This is basically someone that is a lunar geologist that was working with NASA, and he said, complaining after being kicked off by NASA, that he saw something, he tried to publish that, and they didn't allow that, basically. And he has a link here for a YouTube video that I tried, to be fair, I tried to go to that video, but the video doesn't exist. So I suppose they took down the video. It's crazy, man. Please don't take my down. Please, shenanigans means to me here in Portugal, I am in Portugal, shenanigans means we love you. It's the word here. Shenanigans in Portuguese, I'm Portuguese, it means we love you. Best friends, bestie. Okay, NASA, bestie.
Very interesting in that video clip, as well as in...
Now let's go.
It just makes no sense to me.
Maybe active on...
Now, let's be very clear here. We're not saying it is ET, but if there's nothing to hide, why would a scientific organization like NASA want to hinder people from investigating transient lunar phenomena? It just makes no sense to me.
Neither to me, Ross. And why? If 3i Atlas is just a comet, why they are hiding everything? Why they classify 3i Atlas publicly? Why all of that? Why? It makes no sense to me as well, Ross.
I agree, and that's one reason.
Now the transcript,
the monocular.
The transcript, man, with Armstrong, Aldrin. You see the transcript. Let me pull back here.
He says there's an area there that's considerably more illuminated than the surrounding area. It just seems to have a slight amount of fluorescence to it as a crater can be seen, and the area around the crater is quite bright.
This was Armstrong talking about that luminosity, that weird glow in that crater. That made no sense. Armstrong, this is the transcript.
And here NASA writes, Aristarchus is the brightest crater.
Look, in Aristarchus, look the answer from the ground control. Look the answer.
We copy.
We copy and then long pause. We copy and then they talk with the others, no? Look, they are finding something. Clear as water. Then
On the face of the moon.
Aldrin.
And here Buzz Aldrin confirms the same thing. And they're trying to understand why it's so bright, and they're not sure.
Did they get Michael Collins when he was in the command module orbiting?
And then the control after Aldrin, because Aldrin was saying, I'm not sure whether it was worked out to be a zero phase. Well, at least there's no wall on the crater that seems to be more illuminated than the other. And that one does seem to put it about a zero phase. That area now is Buzz Aldrin. That area is definitely lighter than anything else that I could see out of this window. I am not sure that I am really identifying any phosphorescence, but that definitely is lighter than anything else in the neighborhood. So Aldrin confirming the communication from Armstrong of that weird luminescence. And then the ground control.
This is Houston. Can you discern any difference in color of the illumination? And is that an inner or an outer wall of the crater? Over.
That's an inner wall of the crater. So it was in the inner wall of the crater. And then Collins. No, there doesn't appear to be any color involved in it, Bruce. So no color. It was some glow, bright glow without any color. And ground control. Roger, you said inner wall. Will that be the inner edge of the northern surface? And Aldrin. I guess it will be the inner part of the west-northwest part. Okay, it was the inner part. And look at this detail from the ground control. Houston, have you used the monocular on this? Over. And then Aldrin, stand by one. And then kaput. No more talks about this. There was it says here, common break. What break? Was ground control saying, I don't know, I ask. Please watch it, as I asked you, but don't talk about it. We talk about it later. That's why it's not here. Because they never spoke about it anymore in the transcript. It's freaking weird, man. I have to hydrate because I'm getting dizzy with this. It's freaking strong. Ground control to Major Quack. I am driving home. Just wanted to say hi to Serenity Ship. Mr. Lonely, whatever it happens, just listen. Don't watch. Please don't watch. Later at home, you will watch the pictures because they are important. And you will see the light. You will see the light. If you now remember... Jeffrey, today I was thinking exactly the same. I will pull that. If you now remember the press conference, it feels like they don't feel we talking about their crazy mission. Exactly, Jeffrey. Exactly. Man, are you making telepathy today? Because I was thinking exactly that, man. For the ones that don't know, now everything fits, you see? This is amazing, man. I'm really excited with this, man. This second part. Apollo 11. A conference where they were supposed to be happy because they in ecstasies. They went to the moon, the first man on the moon. They were supposed to be in. If I am with this, imagine them. And without any script, they didn't need any script, but they had a teleprompter. Crazy, 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 crazy.
Or on the daylight side
Look
of the
at the
moon
happiness.
by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
They are answering about watching stars or not. They didn't know very well, man. I can't remember. He said, I didn't see any.
Neil, you were a little bit concerned, you said, about stubbing your...
Man, this is happiness. Look at the expression in a face. Do you understand about face expressions? This is happiness. This is happiness, man.
...your toe at the point of landing because the surface was obscured by dust.
I'm struck.
Happiness, happiness, look, happiness, happiness, joy.
From the movies and the still pictures by the difference in the very hostile appearance of the moon when you're orbiting over it or some distance from it, and the warmer colors in the...
About being low on fuel, and the second part of it, pinpoint...
In order to find a suitable landing area.
Happiness, man, look at the soul. The eyes are the mirror of the soul. Happiness. Enjoying the moment. It's their moment. It was forever in history. They are not good on acting because they are not acting. They are not acting. An actor can hide that. They couldn't hide it. They are like a volcano inside. They have a volcano inside of them. About to explode, but it didn't. So imagine. Thank you,
Mr. Lonely 68 super chatted $2.37. Yes, Captain Chiagu saluting face collision. Just listen, watch later saluting face collision.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Lonely 68. Thank you. I'm glad. It's very dangerous to try to watch or write in. Man, you can, when you are driving, don't you see sometimes people doing zigzag in front of you in the car? They are with a smartphone, man. They don't realize, and they go like this towards the left always. Well, here we drive on the right, so they go towards the left. It's crazy. Smartphone. It's smartphone.
Many of us and many other people in many places have speculated on the
joy. Look at him, man. Come on, guys, hold on. Let me take off this face. Come on, so you can see the joy on the three of them. Come on, guys. This is clear as water. Deep introspective look. They had an entity from the moon in them before having it released into NASA. Well, that's a bit bold to say. I don't know. They look worried. Yes, they do, man. Look at this. Look. Scratching the papers. Looking down.
Are you going to try that?
After you.
Well, I believe that what this country set out to do was something that was going to be done sooner or later.
Okay, let's move on with the amazing interview. But the the happiness here, well, they are smiling because they didn't know who was going to answer. They were making a joke with that, at least that. So you see this, look at the crater now. Let's see the crater.
And many photographs. The Clementine mission took a photograph, and this is the Aristarchus crater. This, by the way, is hundreds of kilometers by hundreds of kilometers area. So this is the crater. It's quite large. And as you can see, it's extremely bright. It has a bluish, whitish glow. And It's also unusually symmetric looking. What's also important to note is that NASA produced some false color here because their measurements indicated that the crater is actually luminescing not just in the visible light spectrum, but also in the ultraviolet spectrum that we can't see.
What are the implications
So
of that, Max? What does that mean?
It means that there's some sort of energy source that is producing the luminescence. It's not merely, or it's hard to understand that as just merely reflected light of any kind.
It means that there is some energy source producing this light. Of course, shenanigans have loads of explanations, you know. The explanations that I just told you, they talked about that. It walks like a duck, it looks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a duck. As usual.
In other words, it's brighter than it appears to the naked eye. It's actually emitting more light than we can actually see with our own eyes in a higher frequency or higher energy.
Did it show up under infrared cameras as well? Was there infrared heat?
Yeah, they are talking about these cameras being infrared. Yes, probably they are. The good news is that they have infrared and ultraviolet. I have as well. So when we will point with my massive telescope, that is 16-inch telescope, is bigger than me, to the moon, to this specific crater, I will point there, we will watch it, we will record everything so then later we can enhance and see the details. And also I will use an ultraviolet filter that I didn't test yet in anything. I purchased it, but I didn't test yet because it's a very specific wavelength. It's ultraviolet. We can't see humans ultraviolet, and infrared as well. So we will test everything over this crater. Hope you enjoy. Stay tuned. If you like this kind of content, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with videos and live streams.
That's a good question. I believe that is the case, but I do not know if there's a photograph that explicitly shows that. There probably is somewhere.
And so, but what is it? It's 60 plus years since the Apollo 11 mission. I mean, it's the most famous exploration mission in the history of humanity. Why do we not have an answer for what it is that was causing the glow on Aristarchus crater when the moon was in shade, no less?
Yeah. Well, NASA's approach to this historically has been to propose various prosaic explanations.
This is the explanation. We hope, let's hope it's not blurred out. They tend to blur, but it will be actually this image has some rectangles that are blurred. No explanation for that. We don't know why. They are blurred. But I would think that it will be too much suspicious to blur the Aristarchus crater, because it's very famous. Many people watch the moon. It's really a pretty easy object to watch. You can watch it with binoculars, with your smartphone as well, with any kind of telescope. The moon is always something that everyone can see, and it will be very suspicious. Then they give these explanations, the quack explanations, outgassing about that crater. Outgassing, maybe radon 222 and other gases from fractured subsurface regions driven by radioactive decay. But this is all hypothesis, as in 3i Atlas. They throw hypotheses, but they never have another hypothesis of, or maybe this is something artificial that we should check before taking any conclusion 100% confirmed. We should check it, and then we'll see. Not a Samsung. Yeah, the Samsung. Yeah, it's true. Check. I had and I still have a Samsung there, and it has AI. I made a video about it in the past. It's crazy, man. The moon, at a certain point, you zoom to the moon with a Samsung, and it gives kind of half blurry, no? But then, if you zoom a bit more, it triggers the AI of Samsung, and it's all AI. So you zoom, you take a very detailed picture of the moon. It's made by AI, said by South Koreans from Samsung. So I showed that in a video. So they have a document where they state that we use AI in certain details of the moon, because as we have from NASA all the pictures of the moon from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, we have all the moon very well mapped, and they use that information to the AI.
For example, one of the most popular is that in a later mission, I believe it was Apollo 15, measurements were made of various spectra of the moon, and they detected the radioactive signature of
well, they try to explain that part is shenanigans trying to explain the unexplainable.
An artifact of the way they took the photographs, or is that unnecessary blurring? Why would NASA blur the images around the Aristarchus crater?
They're talking about those blurred rectangles. This, look here. They don't know, man. Nobody knows. There's rectangles here. There's one here. There's another one here. There's another one here. And there's another one here. And there's another one here. They can always say that it's something glitch from the camera or whatever, and we don't know. We never know. As you well said, what is real anymore, Karate Cat? Exactly that, man. We know that they are blurred, and we know that they don't give any freaking explanation about it.
Question. I don't know if it was unintentional or intentional.
Who knows?
But there was never any explanation as to why these major part of Apollo program after Apollo 17.
Which is interesting. That suggests to me that NASA's clearly interested in Aristarchus, and maybe it's as simple as they just don't know the answer to the mystery yet.
Yeah, could be.
That could well be, yeah. Now, I think if we're just looking at this as scientists and not assuming any nefarious intentions from NASA, I think NASA should seriously consider Aristarchus as a potential site of an extraterrestrial presence or defunct base, or maybe still active base, because we have to remember Sagan's general approach to identifying potential ET artifacts, and that's to look for out of equilibrium and unusually geometrical structures or phenomena.
Carl Sagan, he's talking about Carl Sagan that back that time already said it's important to check from those anomalies in shapes, whatever, not only in the moon, in the solar system overall. So you see, this is crazy. I forgot to post the link. I will post in the description as well. And actually I'll do right now, otherwise I'll forget, man. Let me post the link in the chat, and then later you can go deep on this, because it's worth it. And then we have here
images from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. I would actually like to pull up one to illustrate this. I think it's worth noting. So let me see if I can pull this up. Yes, I can. So there is actually a portion of...
So this is a structure that was zoomed in inside that crater, Aristarchus. Okay? And look, this is freaking weird. Look at
the crater. This is a photograph, a close-up photograph of the crater itself. And what you see seemingly built into one of the walls of the crater near the floor is this structure that almost looks like an entrance. It has like a U-shaped top and almost a square-like entrance.
Do we know
here.
how?
A freaking castle. Okay.
Okay, time for a poll. Time for a poll to get the feeling of what the heck are you thinking about this. Is this structure made by aliens? Or was this structure made by aliens? Hashtag yes, you believe that this structure here inside the crater, the Aristarchus crater with this open thing here, he was made by aliens. And this symmetrical stuff here. Hashtag no, you believe that it's something that it was, you know, it couldn't be the wind, but because there's no wind there on the moon, but meteorites. It's the only way that it can be shaped, the rock there. It's through meteorites. While I hydrate myself, let's see what you believe. Man, 100%? This one is... Where's the shenanigan? Is in the bathroom or something? Didn't vote? No, not shenanigan. You might not believe... Look, you might believe there are aliens and you might look at this and... Okay, but I don't believe this specific object is alien. And there's no problem in that, okay? I was joking with the shenanigan stuff. You are not a shenanigan by saying that you don't believe this.
Super chatted $2. Aliens are ancient humans even.
Mr. Blue, thank you for the super chat. Can be, it can be. Why not? Because they said that no? No. Snowman, me as well. Exactly, why not? How far was this crater from Tranquility? A bit. The thing is, the Apollo 18 that they never accomplished, supposedly, the plan was to land on this crater. What a coincidence. The mission was to land on that crater. I can show you. I have a software here for a long time. I believe it's still here. Hold on. Moon. Because you know that with telescopes we explore the moon, man. Look, there's this software. Yes, I have. That we have here. That I can show you. This is the moon. Very well detailed. And Aristarchus is here. You see? On the left. And Tranquility is on the right. So Tranquility is here. Mare Tranquillitatis. Here. Mare Serenitatis. Serenitatis, it's our spaceship. If we go to the moon, the Serenity will land here in Mare Serenitatis. But Aristarchus, it's here. So this means that we will have to wait until almost full moon to watch it. Because it will start by the right side. And then it will get brighter and brighter until full moon. This region here at the left, it's the last region to pop on the moon. So we'll have to wait. And I can't zoom here more than this. This is too scientific information. Aristarchus. Transient phenomena, they say here, forms an interesting couple with Herodotus. It has 450 million years. Young. It's a young one. Height walls in terraces. Slightly and extensive flat floor. Man, to take some drinks there. The aliens. Flat. To land the spaceships.
The freaking spaceships.
Small central mountain. The signal. Well, you can see here that the distance is a bit far away. We'll watch it. There are more mysteries. I was watching more mysteries here, for instance. This is a very weird, it's a Reiner Gamma, they call. It looks like something, they have no explanation for this. I made a video in the past with watching this visually with a telescope and everything, and it's really crazy. There are many mysteries on the moon. There are many mysteries, and we will explore them all here. So the structure, let's see the poll. 98.20, he ended the bathroom stuff. 98.2% says yes, this structure was made by aliens.
It's a freaking alien castle.
A freaking castle. And 1.8% says no. This is something... NASA is right. NASA is right. It's something, you know. The moon has saved us from some big hits. The moon and many other objects as well. Has NASA ever explained why all photos are so blurred compared to Mars rover photos? Brushed photos, I don't know, man. It's something weird. Well, we have the lunar reconnaissance photos, but they are from a distance, you know. They are from... You can't zoom, for instance, in the probes that they left there. Huh? They left there those probes from Apollo missions, and you can't... and recent ones as well. Ingenuity and Chandrayaan from India. That was the best one. Crazy, no? The poorest financially country was the one that had the better results recently going to the moon. Well, China was better. China went to the far side and they collect some samples, and they brought samples back that have weird stuff there as well. Unexplainable stuff that doesn't match physics or natural objects. They have something, I talked about that here. But Chandrayaan was the probe that Russia blew it all with that greedy behavior. Oh, I have to be the first. While Chandrayaan was going there, Russians sent their probe to get ahead of Chandrayaan from India, and bam, exploded into the moon. Japan sent, JAXA sent one that flipped. It landed and flipped. And Ingenuity was that mess. They sent one, we were covering here, reaching the moon, waiting for the picture. No communication. And it was awesome. No communication, waiting, no communication, waiting, no communication. Here we were like, okay, what's happening? And then he came Nelson, from the former director from NASA, saying that we have no communication, we will have, but we could get the information. So very important information that we have. Man, it was shenanigans stuff, 100%. Crazy, crazy stuff. It could be, man. It could be. I don't know. It could be the Ark. I love his interviews and his works as well. Ross Colsar. I wish they could do on News Nation something like this. Separate what is alien from regular news. because I don't care about the same news, daily news that we have with those horrible stuff, then I would be someone loyal to... That's why I have Ross Coulthard. I subscribe Ross, and I don't News Nation, although I watched it a lot, but I search for information. But if you like to get every news, News Nation, it's the way to be. Very odd, man. Very odd, Lily. Very, very, very odd. Very odd. Let's keep listening to him.
Do we know how wide that apparent opening is, Max?
We know roughly it's on the order of about 50 to 200 meters or so, approximately.
200 meters, 50 to 200 meters, approximately. The distance of this big entrance.
To the freaking castle.
The castle, the remnants of the castle, man. The remnants of the castle. Oh, come on, man. Do you have so many shenanigans here today? It's free.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a like to spread it all over the world.
It's free. I was running fast, driving fast to be here on time so we could have the live stream. It's free, the like. It's just click a button.
Based on the data from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. So it's quite large. Like a person could easily walk into an astronaut, could easily walk inside of it. And it looks unusually geometrically precise, I would say, given the top and this apparent entrance. And it's near the floor, near the floor of the crater. This wasn't my discovery, but it's a discovery of the owner of the Lunar Reconnaissance, the Lunar Anomalies Facebook page. And so I'm using their photo and giving them credit for
Max,
that.
Is there any explanation from NASA for the apparently anomalous right-angled shapes that we see there?
Explanation.
No, NASA has never commented on...
They don't explain anything, man. They don't care. They keep it all for themselves. They keep it all for themselves.
If there was nothing in this, I mean, time and time again, you're presenting a cogent series of reasons why a rational person should be asking the question, are there artificial structures on the moon? There appear to be right-angled shapes, apparent structured artificial-looking objects, and yet NASA never gives a response. Why not?
We don't need to listen to the response. We know. Look, now, very interesting. It gets more interesting. Let's see.
Thank you. Yes, so I'd like to bring up the second video.
Dr. Farouk Albaz, a geologist, now works at Boston University. For 6 years, he was a senior member of NASA's legendary Apollo program. He was head of astronaut training and responsible for intricate experiments that were scheduled for testing on the moon's surface. During his time in mission control, he experienced firsthand some unusual happenings involving astronaut Ken Mattingly in the lunar orbiter.
This is someone from the mission control that was there. Yeah, quack. He looks like an old abandoned building on Earth. Yes, a castle. The castle. Typical Cyclones capital warship.
The Cyclops Castle.
They were there, man. They were there. They left everything for some reason.
The one most peculiar sighting of something that we never found out what it was, and we thought it should be easy to, was the sighting of flashes on the surface of the moon by Ken Mattingly during the Apollo 16 mission.
Apollo 16, flashing.
One of the objectives of that Apollo 16 mission was to see how much can we see and photograph in the part of the moon that is not lit by the sun, but by Earth shine. The first time Ken Mattingly began to do this, he said something like, I'll be damned, I just saw a flash.
I just saw a flash. So the mission was, the big purpose of the mission was to take pictures of the part of the moon that has not direct sunshine. Do you understand? This is Apollo 16. Apollo 11 was when they were telling us previously, Buzz Aldrin and Armstrong saying that they were seeing flashes. And then they cut the communication. At least there's no transcript about further conversation about that. After ground control said to Aldrin, go with a monocular. Of course, check it better and tell us. But no more transcripts. And after, in this new mission, the Apollo 16, the goal was to check in regions without sunlight, which was what happened with Aristarchus. There was no sunlight, direct sunlight, and it had a glow. So the mission was to take pictures of regions where the glow could pop, so they can study it. They were very interested in that, right? And they saw something, they saw flashing stuff there.
And we said, what flash? So he said, I just saw a light flash on the surface of the moon. Something on the moon flashed. As he came around the next time and we said, now be careful with this thing and look again and mark your time when you see it so we know exactly when it happens, because we want to tie this to whatever is happening in the landing site.
So the instructions were for them to mark exactly the, not only the region where the flashes would appear, but in the second time, but also the timings. They want to know exactly the timings of everything. This latest moon mission coming up isn't even landing on the moon. This one, no. Artemis 2, it will do like the N8. It will go and say hello and come back.
One of NASA's experiments on the moon involved highly sensitive seismometers that, among other things, could detect the impact of incoming meteors. If Mattingly's flashes appeared again, the instruments should record the impact of a meteor, the most likely explanation for his sighting. And so, on the next lunar orbit, Ken Mattingly was briefed to look out for flashes and report what he saw.
He said, okay. And he did that, and he saw two flashes. This time, and this one in orbit, not one. So we picked up the exact times, and we took these to our colleagues, the ones that had the seismometers. But at that time, there was absolutely no evidence of anything hitting the moon at these hours, because it would have been picked up for it. There is
two flashes this time, and there was absolutely no evidence of anything hitting the moon when those flashes occurred. It's like magicians. We need to look at the right hand waving while the left hand is hiding the ball. Exactly that, man. I love that analogy because it's right that they do. Look at the trick. Oh, here comes the rabbit. Here comes the rabbit. And the other hand is doing the real trick. And then you see the rabbit. Oh, how could they do this? Being shenanigan.
Absolutely no explanation. And that remained a complete mystery.
At this time, the Russians had an unmanned presence on the moon, and that
the Russians were an issue.
Could have been the cause. But there are still some unexplained pictures. This one shows a shadow racing across the moon's surface. And here,
the shadow, man. Look at the shadow. This is from their footage. Look at the shadow here.
a flash appears.
Look, 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 look. Watch it again. I will move back. It's exactly before that. Then tell me that is ice. Man, the shenanigans. Look, look. Look. This was the mission STS-75, right? STS-75 incident, the tether incident. Look at the objects. Okay? These are the objects that they captured. Look. You see? You see? Actually, there are even better than these ones. Here. Look. Look, look, look. You see? Ice, they say. Look, more ice. Look, another one. There are more of these, man. Look, look, ice. It's like a fridge. When I open the fridge, I see this. Look, in space. This is a tether. They lost or something the tether. It was floating there, and look at the surroundings. Different speeds. Look at this one, look at this one. Clack, 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 clack. Clack, 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 clack. Ice, they said. Now, going back to the... I'll move back and you will see if there's something similarities. Look.
Unmanned presence on the moon, and that could have been the cause. But there are still some unexplained pictures. This one shows a shadow racing across the moon's surface. And here, a flash appears from a crater as an unidentified object passes overhead.
Wow.
What the heck, man? Will they say it's ice again? What the heck, this, man? Look.
A flash appears.
Look.
Appears from a crater. As a
Look.
An
Hold on.
This time in this one orbit. Identified object passes overhead.
Wow.
Look. Look, look. Hold on. Let me zoom it. Here. The flash moving. You see? It's a rock. It's an artifact. They do, man. That's why we search for answers, and their behavior tells everything. Their behavior tells everything. To me, at least, it's how I see it. Nothing to see here. Right. Why is the victim? This is an old video, man. Apollo 16. That's why it's wavy. It was in Apollo 16 that, you know, that I buy. That I buy. This is from NASA. Nowadays, I don't buy that. That freaking 3i Atlas blurred picture from the Mars orbiter, the reconnaissance, while we on Earth were taking beautiful pictures of it, man. Detailed. No way, man. No way. Thank you, Mr. Blue, for your super chat.
Super chatted $5. It's not a UFO, it's super quack.
Super quack.
Duck, 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 duck.
Duck, duck, duck. Super quack. Thank you so much for your super chat.
Super shot.
Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy, crazy stuff. And this is strong. This is strong. This is not like... Remember, this is not like... random people that, oh, I have this in the smartphone, what is it? And you have no idea because you don't even... You have no clue, but this was in space. This was on the moon. This was on the moon. This is not like your neighbor was flashing a light and you capture it. It can happen. And it's very difficult to distinguish nowadays. This is real footage from NASA, no AI back that time, and on the moon, man. It's on the freaking moon.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not holding my breath. I'm presuming there was no explanation from NASA for those objects. Is that right?
No explanation. In fact, it's not possible. I have not been able to find any sort of formal write-up or report about Ken Mattingly's observations of these flashes repeatedly and Farouk Albaz's conversations with him. No follow-up, no official report, no nothing. Just this and...
Did astronaut Mattingly ever speak publicly? Was he ever asked publicly about what he'd seen?
Not to my knowledge.
Nothing.
Unfortunately, he's passed away. But Farouk Albaz is still alive, and he's still based at Boston University. I've tried getting in contact with him to ask more questions about. It's hard to say. I suppose it didn't have an air of credibility back then, and so they discouraged
the usual
NASA scientists from.
They constrain people.
The video that we just saw. So maybe we could do that now.
About 3 days and 200,000 miles into the flight, mission control.
They lost the S. This is important, man. This is important. This is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Do you have any idea where the S4B is?
The S4B. There was an S4B, a part of a rocket or whatever, that they knew, the astronauts, that they were seeing something first. They were watching something from the window that was an UFO. But instead of asking to NASA, to ground control, look, there's something here, looks like an UFO. It can't be the S4B because that one is far away. And this is a different distance. This is right in front of us. And instead of doing that, because of the constraints, because of the shenanigan stuff, they asked this. Do you have any idea where is the S4B with respect to us here? The astronauts. You see how shenanigans immediately, you don't even ask anything yet, and you have already those constraints.
Mysterious object.
The object, man. They saw this object, and it was an UFO.
A freaking spaceship.
They know, man.
Like of us, we're not gonna blurt out, "Hey, Houston, we got something moving alongside of us, and we don't know what it is. You know, can you tell us what it is?" We weren't about to do that. Because we know that those transmissions would be heard by all sorts of people, and who knows what somebody would have demanded that we turn back because of aliens or whatever the reason is. So we didn't do that. But
you see, constraint. They didn't do that because of the constraints.
We did decide we just cautiously ask Houston, how far away was the S4B?
I won't dig into that, Fenodrian, unless the president really does that speech. After that, I will talk about it here because it's relevant. But I will not speculate over that again. Besides, people with the last video that I made, that was alien. That was my purpose. My goal was to bring the alien relevance on the former president. Saying that aliens are real, and man, I will never do it again because I see many people in the comments insulting, and not me, insulting them, and harsh insults, and I don't want to attract that kind of people here. I don't like politicians. I don't like politics.
Unaware of the drama unfolding in space, Mission Control radioed the position back to Apollo 11.
Apollo 11, Houston, the S4B is about 6,000 nautical miles from you now, over.
You see, 6,000 nautical miles, so it was far away. It's impossible to be the S4B. It was an UFO.
And a few moments later, they came back and said something like it was 6,000 miles away because of the maneuver. So we really didn't think we were looking at something that far away. So we decided that after a while of watching it, it was time to go to sleep and not to talk about it anymore until we came back in debriefing.
To this day, whatever it was the crew saw has never been positively identified or officially acknowledged.
The possibility that you might encounter aliens in space has to be considered in a very sensible and positive and realistic way. There were a lot of people within the program who went off later and became convinced that UFOs existed. And that led to some concern on NASA's part, where they got the agreement of the crew never to publicly talk about these things for fear of ridicule.
For fear of ridicule. You know, the thing that really strikes out a bit about that to me, Max, is where Buzz Aldrin says, obviously, we would never talk about this. Why? Why would you obviously never talk about perhaps the greatest discovery in human history, that we're not alone? This is the theme that's running through a lot of what we're talking about here, that there does appear to be some kind of an understanding among the Apollo astronauts in particular. They weren't to talk about anomalous objects. And this echoes what my friend the spaceman was told by Edgar Mitchell when he was told by Edgar that they were, according to Edgar, privately followed out by craft, unknown craft, blue lights that were actually photographed by Edgar Mitchell, both on the outward journey, the inward journey, and also...
He's telling again the story about his friend that watched that weird blue light, that it matched the last interview we had with this physicist that showed those blue lights on the moon.
While he was on the moon, when my friend asked him, why didn't you talk publicly about this during your lifetime? And he said one word: treason.
Of course.
Really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are really... I don't think the ridicule explanation really makes much sense. I think the more logical explanation is that they were simply not allowed. And that's...
They were not allowed, yeah. It's the more logical. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. People that came to the comment section and, with loads of anger, because the politics and religion, that's why I don't want that here. It's too much polarized, and it distorts the reality and the common sense of people. Basically the common sense. So you fight, and soccer as well. You fight for your team, whatever, regardless. You fight regardless. And I don't work like that.
What Edgar Mitchell was referring to by treason. because of the obvious national security threat or implications.
I mean, if you think about it,
something following us, we don't know what it is.
This was, I mean, I've often thought about this, and I've spoken privately to some astronauts who won't go public. And if you think about the Apollo 11 mission, this was humanity, this bunch of advanced apes, for the first time leaving the bonds of Earth and going to another part of of space, landing a craft. It was a hugely historic moment. And if you're an advanced non-human civilization, or perhaps a future human civilization, this was one of the greatest events in the history of humankind. I can imagine an alien intelligence or even an advanced future human intelligence would be taking a very close interest in that event. And maybe it wouldn't want its presence to be known. But what I don't understand is why, if NASA is aware of this, why would they not want it to be known? Intriguing.
In fact, and yes, it can be that as well. There's another hypothesis that you threw up here in the chat that maybe they have contact. They have contact, and that's why. That there's a possible explanation for that. Why not?
Yeah, it has to. I think it has to come back to if you have knowledge of this sort of thing happening, you don't want. I mean, this was the Cold War too, and let's not forget if there was any.
Ruskies. Yeah. I don't understand it. I mean, I would have thought. I mean, my understanding is that the Russians are in on the same secret. So why conceal it?
The question that we are always making. Now look at this. I will pull forward because there's an interview here, but the sound is not very good. But they show another one of Buzz Aldrin here from a podcast that is clean. Listen to this, man. This is crazy, man.
Both sightings, the Apollo 11 and this earlier one. So could we have the next video, please?
The way to the moon in the middle of cislunar space. And the astronauts had tracked it while they were floating through space.
The astronauts were tracked. They were tracked. Something was following them. Man, this will be to speak about this everywhere, always. But they bury, like they did with Rhea Atlas, they try to bury these things. No, you are crazy. You are crazy. Look at these crazy conspiracies. They are the conspiracies. Did you notice that? You did. But other people, man. Mission Control missed a cryptic message from the astronauts.
Do you have any idea where the informant is with respect to us? Stand by.
Buzz Aldrin could have been one of these important figures that actually proved there is UFO activity happening in outer space. But unfortunately, he became very contradictory on his initial story in mainstream media.
They are talking about what Buzz Aldrin was talking about, that UFO he saw. He clearly saw a UFO. He confirmed it was not that part of that rocket, and he saw a UFO. But then the contradictions he's talking about, the podcaster here, are during time. So something changed during time that the speech of Aldrin had to change towards the shenanigan narrative. I wonder why. Crazy.
There was something out there that was close enough to be observed, and what could it be?
Clear as water.
A freaking spaceship, Aldrin.
What could it be? A freaking spaceship. You confirmed with ground control it was not the S4 or something rocket. It was 6,000 miles away. Nautic miles. It was a freaking spaceship you saw. And he's saying clearly that. How can somebody deny this.
That, and when it was in one position that had a series of ellipses, but when you made it real sharp, it was sort of L-shaped. That didn't tell us very much. Now, obviously, the three of us were not going to blurt out, "Hey, Houston, we got something moving alongside of us, and we don't know what it is. You know, can you tell us what it is?" We weren't about to do that, because we know that those transmissions would be heard by all sorts of people, and who knows what somebody would have demanded that we turn back because of aliens or whatever the reason is. So we didn't do that. But
you see the constraints? They didn't ask Houston with fear of other people saying, "Oh, these guys never again. Oh, forget. They are saying alien stuff." And
we did decide we just cautiously ask Houston how far away was the S4B? And a few moments later, they came back and said something like it was 6,000 miles away because of the maneuver. So we really didn't think we were looking at something that far away. So we decided that after a while of watching it, it was time to go to sleep and not to talk about it anymore until we came back in debriefing.
I saw this illumination that was moving with respect to the stars. We were smart enough to not say, "Houston, there's a light out there that's following us."
A light following us. Man, this is Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut that was in Apollo 11 and more missions, I believe, right?
So technically, it becomes an unidentified flying object.
Technically, it becomes an unidentified flying object. He's saying with all the words, constrained with fear of what he's saying.
And that's all I could think about. But in any case, I was on set, and I was just a gopher, and I turned out I got a little role. But Mickey Bruno's like, "Oh, what are you doing when you're not, here helping us out?" And I said, "I'm making a UFO film." He goes, "Oh, I'm friends with Buzz Aldrin, and you should talk to him sometime. He's got some pretty interesting, stories." And
I will place a poll here. I will place a poll. Now is the time. Did Aldrin did Aldrin see an UFO? An alien? Hashtag yes. Hashtag yes in the chat. Please, if you believe that what Aldrin saw through the window of the spaceship was alien, hashtag no if you believe no. Just a rock or something. Be honest, it doesn't matter if you believe that he didn't see. Maybe you think he was, I don't know, having hallucinations. Him, but remember, not only him, everyone from the crew, because they all saw that. He's speaking now, but they all saw that. We have to assume that it was an illusion shared by everyone in the crew. 97.1. I will vote as well. I'll vote. Of course, it's a rock. I'll vote it's a rock. They would have known if it was something natural, of course. I believe so, man. They were like, okay, I believe the astronauts were, okay, this is clearly a freaking spaceship, Aldrin. What shall we do? Shall we say Houston? Are you kidding? If we say Houston now that is a freaking spaceship, which it is, that you are watching with me, it's not an hallucination. If we say that to Houston, can you see what's going to happen? Everyone is listening, man. They will call us crazy, conspiracists and things like that. We can't say that. Okay, Aldrin, but how can we let them say? Ask for where is the rocket, because you know that it isn't the rocket. Let's see if they will be the ones to say that instead of us. So we say that, well, ask where is the rocket, and they will check the rocket and they will see that it's far away, and they will say to us, okay, maybe it's an UFO. But the thing is, they didn't. The ground control didn't say that as well, because of the same feelings of fear of saying something. Most likely the ground control guy that was receiving that and was answering confirmed with the superior that was around, okay, what shall I say? And the superior, okay, man, you will not say it's an UFO or alien. Don't say anything. We talk later. And they didn't say anything. Clear as water.
So that was my initial in with Buzz Aldrin. And
if the moon wasn't real, we wouldn't have the tides. Come on. Yes. Heiser. Good one. Man, the moon is real. The thing is, why is there? How it was really formed, because they don't know. They think it was like Theia, a planet that smashed on Mars, on the Earth, sorry. A planet that smashed on the Earth 4.6 billion years ago. Man, no, 4.5 billion years ago. And part of it formed the moon and part of it entered in our nucleus on Earth. That's the most accepted theory from shenanigans themselves. I believe it's real, the moon, and is it hollow? Has it artificial structures? I believe it has. And now even more. Will they tell us the truth? Those are questions that are harder to get responses. But that is real, I have no doubt about that. At least me. I understand that people have.
then I would say probably 3 years later, I met Faye Ann Potter, Buzz Aldrin's sister. So I'm talking to Faye Ann Potter, and I said...
Now it's getting hotter, because he talks with Faye Ann Aldrin, the sister of Buzz Aldrin. It's not an astronaut.
I heard I found out it was her brother was Buzz Aldrin, and I'm like, I worked on this movie set, and I found out, through Mickey Rooney, that your brother had, a sighting. But I didn't get any specifics. She said, "Oh yeah, he had 2 encounters with UFOs, and one was when he was piloting." This is what she told me. This is what Buzz Aldrin's sister told me. Okay.
And Buzz Aldrin's sister. It's not a random, it's Buzz Aldrin's sister. I have a sister. Do you have sisters? Do you have sisters? I have a sister. And when I talk with my sister alone, we don't have any secret. We share things as they are. Even that we have that secret from the public, with my family and with my sister as well. I share the truth, what I really believe, because it's my sister, right? I believe he did the same, Buzz.
She said that he had, and I don't know what year it was, but I think it was before he went to the moon. He was flying a fighter jet, and he chased a disc. And she said that he was so moved by the experience that he called her, and he was still shaking from it. He said he chased it till he couldn't go any higher. He didn't catch it. That's what she told me. Then she said he also told her that they saw something or something followed them to the moon. But it was like not just a quick sighting. I think it went on for like a day or 2. That's what she told me. So between Fay Ann Potter and Mickey Rooney and his wife, Jan Rooney. They said, we think we can get you an interview with Buzz Aldrin. So they got my foot in the door. They contacted him. He's a good kid. He's doing this documentary. And Buzz Aldrin agrees to meet with me.
He's in Europe.
And now look at the plot twist on the story. He's telling that he contacted the sister. The sister confirmed that Buzz saw two UFOs, clearly said that, and he tried to meet Buzz Aldrin for an interview. Look at the plot twist. Freaking weird.
That's the problem. He was in France on tour for some book that he was doing. Yes, I'll meet with James, but I'm on this book tour and I'm going to be in Monte Carlo on these dates. If he wants to meet me in Monte Carlo, I'll meet with him and do an interview. So, of course, I'm going to do that. And I've got Buzz Aldrin. I think I borrowed money from somebody. I can't remember who. And we get to his hotel, and the concierge comes and says, Mr. Fox? So, yes, you have a telephone call? And I, okay. And he gives me the phone, and it's Buzz Aldrin. I can't do the interview. I said, it's like, what do you mean you can't do the interview? I traveled all the
He rejected the interview at last minute. The guy was towards Monaco. Man, this doesn't fit any logical explanation.
Said, I can't do it. He said,
Look.
It was Paul Allen.
Paul Allen.
It was Paul Allen. He said, Paul
He was here with that magnate.
Allen just invested in SETI, and he was labeled a UFO quack. Something like that.
The UFO quack. Man, the excuse. Paul Allen, the magnate. He was with him. Sorry, I can't meet you anymore. Why is that? To tell you the truth. Why is that? Because I'm with this magnate, and he invested in SETI. And whatever quack they said. What was the quack? What was the quack? Thank you so much for being an explorer. Easy Jesus. Here it's all easy. Look what the quack.
I traveled all this way. He said, I can't do it. He said, it was Paul Allen.
Paul Allen.
It was Paul Allen. He said, Paul Allen just invested in SETI, and he was labeled a UFO quack. Something like that.
He was labeled a UFO quack. We have shenanigan in the house. Shenanigan in the house, man. Shenanigan in the house. So 98.4%. Did Aldrin see an alien? Yes. 98.4% completely smashed the no, with only 1.6% believing that no, Aldrin just saw a rock or something. Charlatans, man. You see how the pieces of the puzzle? You see how the pieces of the puzzle start fitting better? You have already the puzzle in your mind, but you don't have the pieces to see it physically. But now you're having more pieces of the puzzle. Eventually you will get it. I will throw more pieces of the puzzle with my telescope to see if we can see anything, because there were more weird stuff. There was more weird stuff there. We are in the middle of this amazing interview. Meanwhile, I edited the description, so you have the link at the description. I posted previously on the chat as well. It's an awesome work. I will land a spaceship now, so we can assimilate this information, me as well. And tomorrow we will do the second part of the reaction, of the second part of the interview that is amazing. This one is even better than the last one, although the last one is awesome. Thank you, Kortzer, for gifting 5 new members to the Serenity. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. You are now an explorer. You are an explorer. I'm not even sure space is real at this point. LOL, aliens are probably outside the ice wall and in the ocean, extraterrestrial. It's hard to believe, Charlie. It's hard to... With the flow of information, with the flow of misinformation as well, it's hard to get the truth, it's true. But eventually, here, all of us, because one single person, it's even harder. All of us together, in time, it's a process. In time, we will have a piece here, a piece there, and try to have a consistent puzzle during our lifetime. So if something occur, strong disclosure or something, an event or something, it will not catch us by surprise. And we can assimilate better than other people that most people will freak out. We will assimilate better. That will give us strength to deal with the situation with shenanigans, in control, better, with a clear mind. Does this make sense? Someone that freak out and gets in that state, it's hard to have a common sense thinking and logical and rational, and you know. Bam, absolutely. Bam! I'll be here tomorrow again with you to the second part of this, because I'm sorry, but I'm fascinated with this. I believe that most of you are as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for the supporters as well. Stay positive.